He wasn't that guy. Well, he was not.
Right. So some of the things that the chat wants to know is how many times did he get shot? Some say 5, 9, 10, 11. Who knows? Do you know how they asked you what it was? How many times he got shot?
Absolutely, I know because I was there. I was I was there with him in the hospital for weeks to the point where once he was he was not in his induced coma. Once he saw I was there, he did not let me leave his side. But he was shot 5 times. 5 times. Once in the jaw, the arm, the hip, and everything else was like little like flesh wound. But 5 times. It was not 9. He said he came up with 5. His reasoning to me why he said he came up with 5 was because Tupac got shot 9 times. I mean 5 times. He said Tupac got shot 5 times, so he wanted to sensationalize it because he didn't want to be compared to Tupac. He wanted to make it bigger than what Tupac was. That's what. But he got shot 5 times. That's a fact. I was
And you was
there.
there.
I was in
You
constant
witnessed.
communication with the doctors. I was his next of kin. He got shot 5 times.
And you was there because people are going to debate. Were you there?
I was when he got shot or in the hospital.
Well, both in the shot.
I was
Yeah.
there in front of the house when he got shot. Like I said, his grandmother was in the yard planting flowers. Marquise and I had walked him to I can't explain the house. Well, I kind of could, but the house had a porch, so you was still like a outside porch. So Marquise and I was standing in the outside porch. Ju came and spoke. If you hear even Ju's interviews, which by the way, coming soon. I have so much footage with God. Recipes JU. I got so much footage with JU, and that's going to definitely come out soon. Um, yeah, we were there. Marquise and I were there. We were there, and he never placed me there. Like I said, he likes to control the narrative. He never placed me there, but Marquise and I were there. We were there. Me, Marquise's grandmother, and Ju. And Ju girlfriend was in the car. His girlfriend at the time was in the car.
Let's run back in time real quick. So how old was Marquise when he got shot?
He was 3 years. He was about 3 going on 4.
I gotta ask you a question. Now, people to say, well, y'all wasn't together, right, when that happened, right?
Yeah, I had just left him. Maybe not. We weren't even broke up for a year at that time. I don't think it was not even a year. No.
So people gonna ask, man, and the chat probably gonna say, well, why'd you stay at his house if y'all was broken up? Or was it a house that he bought for you?
It was a house
Explain
that
that
he
part.
it was a house that he brought for me. So if I'm his son's primary caretaker, which by the way, when people always try to say, "Oh, you brainwashed him, you this, you that," the man has plenty of money at that time. We have a custody agreement. He signed over all his rights voluntarily. He signed over. The courts gave Marquise his own separate attorney. He signed over all his rights voluntarily. Like, say if I wish I would have had the agreement out if I was thinking I would have it next time. I'll have everything so I can read it verbatim. Like if Marquise was on a life support system, it's I will consult with his father, but I made the final decision and everything with Marquise, where he lived, where he goes to school. The only thing he asked was I couldn't change his surname, which is his last name, and if I moved or went out of a certain proximity, he would have to know. But he had every other weekends. I didn't trust him, so I would have him meet me at the precinct. He had every other weekends and every other holidays, to the point where he didn't keep up with his visitations. I was able to move to Georgia, and he didn't even know because he wasn't keeping up with his visitation. Not that I was keeping it from him. I was able to move to another state, and he did not know because he wasn't keeping up with his visitation.
Now, do you think because he didn't want to, or he just was busy being the entertainer artist?
No,
What
I think
how's his opinion?
he didn't want to because it it's nothing that you're gonna be so busy to see your child. Like I don't care. Like don't get me wrong, he's a busy artist, but when I was with him, he made time and he saw Marquise all the time. Well, we lived together, but he's traveling. It's a lot, but you saw him then, so I don't understand like why that we're not together. You can't see him, and that's what he would do in the course. And sometimes the judge would check him. He was like, "Oh, well, he always wanted to come to my house to see him," and I'm like, "No." So the judge was like, well, you could go get him and take him to the park or take him to your grandmother's house in Long Island. Why do you have to sit with Miss Tompkins to see him? He then after the fight, I got a new number. He tried to get the course to make me give him his number. I said no. Marquise has his own phone. It's no need for you to talk to me.
You think it was all about you? Let me ask you a question, right? Do you think he wanted? Let's say this. Do you think he loved you more than he loved his child?
Well, he told my sister that. So my middle sister was living with us in Pennsylvania. Um, she wasn't getting along with my. Not even say she wasn't getting along with my stepfather. My stepfather was very mean to my middle sister, but that's another story. So I went and got my middle sister, and I brought her to live with us, which I can say, because I'm always gonna keep it all the way G. I'm gonna keep it all the way official. Boo Boo even helped me with my sister. Like he would take her to school while I would go to work. We always worked good as a team together. And my sister said one day he was taking her to school, and they were talking about my sister's situation with my stepfather, and he was saying that he was expressing to my sister, if that were me, like if I would have put my hands on um Mia, which is my daughter. He was like, your sister would have, I would have been out of there. Like he's like, she wouldn't play all of that. So that's what he was expressing to my sister. And my sister said he then looked at her and said, but I love your sister more than I love dumb kids. And that's what he said to my sister. I love your sister more than I love them kids. And he always used to get upset with me because he felt like I poured too much in my children. Or I paid them too much attention. Like he would come home sometimes. Marquise is like, say, like Marquise and I were laying down watching TV, and he would come in and say, get out of my bed watching my TV with my woman. I'm his mother, and he's a little kid. Like, I'm his mother, and he's a little kid. But that was his mentality. But we were very close. Like, I mean, all the times weren't bad. We were very close. We were very, very close. We were very, very, very close. And even me leaving him wasn't the easiest decision. Like that was not easy. That wasn't easy. That wasn't easy. Like when you love someone and care for someone to that magnitude, that wasn't easy. To break up my family unit, that wasn't easy. But I know I deserved better. But I still will put myself in my back pocket for my children. My children didn't deserve to see their mother being mistreated to the point where now that my daughter's older, I always talk to my children, but it's like she's sharing more emotions. She's sharing more emotions with me. Now that she's getting older and saying how like that kind of affected her.